There you go. I forgot to record it. So again, my name is Attorney Renante P. Sulit. I am a registered migration agent here, and my MARA number is 1382407. The reason why I am pointing out my MARA number is that for you to feel secured, that whenever you are talking to a registered migration agent or someone claiming to be an agent who is going to assist you, you must know the MARA number, because the MARA number is the license number that you are licensed here in Australia. Being a migration agent is a profession here in Australia. No, unlike in the Philippines, you can be an agent. Education agent is different from a migration agent. So a migration agent is has the license, and it is being regulated by the immigration. Okay, and by profession, I am a lawyer in the Philippines, and that's why it's my passion to this kind of a job, no, to this kind of work is really immense. Now let's start our discussion for today. So, and I hope that I can deliver our expectation for today, and the following are our expectation. Number one is that you can understand your pathway here in Australia to become a registered nurse, and as well how to become a resident here in Australia, and what are the things that you should know um, in the process. So, and of course, and how we can help you. How can RPS Migration and the Australian Certified Trainers can help you. Now, the fast track registration to residency. Hang on. So, the fast track registration to residency for nurses through OBA with PTE Made Easy has been running for over a decade, as I have mentioned. So, the mode of registration is changing. Before, it was a bridging course, and now it is now the outcomes-based assessment. There are other modes of getting your registration here in Australia. For example, doing it in the university, no, the university pathway, which is 1 year. However, the fastest of them all is the outcomes-based assessment. Now, the outcomes-based assessment are for those Stream B candidates, no? For those who are not qualified for direct registration. So, and these nurses are from the Philippines who are working in the Philippines and outside of Australia, outside of New Zealand. So, or maybe you are working in Singapore or elsewhere, but not qualified for direct registration. So, the big pie, for example, if we have a one big pie, so maybe 9 out of 10 are nurses from the Philippines. Nurses from the Philippines are qualified for the OBA and not for direct registration. Okay. All right. So because being in the Stream B candidates, we have only the relevant qualification, not substantially equivalent. Now, as I have mentioned, so we do have the university pathway. If you would like to do a university pathway here in Australia, there are several universities offering Bachelor of Nursing for a year, 2 years, or 3 years. And there, we have also Masters of Nursing. Now, we do have as well the Trans-Tasman Mutual Recognition. So, the Trans-Tasman Mutual Recognition is an arrangement. No? It's an arrangement between New Zealand and Australia. So, because they are both Commonwealth countries and they are like brothers and sisters, and those professionals, those some professionals, no, licensed professionals in each country can have that mutual recognition of their licenses and can practice in each other jurisdiction. For example, nurses. If you are a registered nurse in Australia, you can also be a registered nurse in New Zealand by just applying for the Trans-Tasman recognition. It's just a paper, okay? So you don't need to undergo any other program if you have undergone that program in one of those jurisdictions. So if you are, for example, a registered nurse, conversely speaking, in New Zealand, so if you want to apply for the Tasman Mutual Recognition in Australia, you can do so. So those are the things that can um, that that you can benefit from, no, from the Trans-Tasman. Now, the other mode of assessment is the outcomes-based assessment, which is the center, which is the focus of our discussion for tonight. Because maybe you have been following me for quite a while, no? Maybe on my TikTok, on my YouTube channel, or in my page. No, I haven't been in TikTok for quite a while because I'm so busy here in Australia. So the outcomes-based assessment, this is the newest approach of APRA in assessing internationally qualified nurses. And this was launched, no, during COVID times in March 2020. And before this launch, I had already created the Australian certified trainers because as a CEO, I am visionary. I know that will what will happen to the mode of registration in Australia, and I thought that creating Australian certified trainers will be the best tool for my program, and it is, no, and that's why we are just making waves. We are receiving so many accolades with insofar as this is concerned. Now, since March 2020 up to present, so the outcomes based assessment has been running for 5 years already. Imagine 5 years. Bridging course has Bridging course had its run for I think 15 years, no? 12 to 15 years. For the now outcomes based assessment, it is on its fifth year. I am telling you that here in Australia, it is always changing. That's why time is of the essence. That's why if I thought that, um, if I knew that the bridging course would that be like over for during the time, I could have worked so much more in order to send a lot of nurses here in Australia. But this outcomes based assessment, looking at the silver lining, looking at the brighter side of it, it's very good as well. That's why I am now exerting all my effort, all my energy to encourage a lot of nurses to take this outcomes based assessment. But because who knows, sooner or later, the things will change again. Remember, it is on its fifth year already. No? But in my practice, no, for over a decade here in Australia, it seems like yesterday since I migrated in Australia, but it's now over a decade that I have been practicing. So for over a decade, nursing has always been there. No, it has been untouched. It is there. However, the mode of registration is changing. What if they will change it to university pathway all across the board? So um, that will be very, very difficult. They launched the direct registration, but that direct registration is very restrictive. My term there is very restrictive because if you are practicing in Singapore, UK, Ireland, you should see to it that you are practicing from January 1, 2017 onwards. If you became a practicing nurse before that, you are not qualified. Imagine, that's ridiculous. It's very restrictive. It's ridiculous. It's outrageous, so to speak, in my opinion. Okay. Now, so going back to outcomes-based assessment. So direct registration, I'm not going to discuss that because it doesn't concern us. If you are registered from the Philippines, working as such, and then working here in the Middle East or in elsewhere, then you are under OBA, not direct registration. Okay. Now, the background of the current model of assessment. So March 2020, the board, no, the board. So because here, APRA has several boards. The board that governs nurses and midwives is called NMBA, Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia. And the assessment is based on, of course, the national law, and the focus is on qualification. It doesn't concern us. It just says there are three streams, A, B, C. And Philippines is under stream B because we have the relevant qualification along with India, the Philippines, and Nepal, the three top notchers of the outcomes-based assessment in APRA. Now, let's talk about outcomes-based assessment more deeply. All right. So when I learned that the outcomes-based assessment will be implemented since March 2020, before that, prior to that date, I had created already the Australian certified trainers purposely for the outcomes-based assessment for the NCLEX and for the OSCE, no? But Australian certified trainers has grown into such an emerging partner of of the of our medical professionals insofar as the training is concerned, because it does not only cover nurses, it also covers radio radiologists, the medical diagnostic radiographer, radiation therapists, and medical technologists, of course the med tech, the physiotherapists, and all that. And of course they have the OET, the CCL, and everything. It has grown into an emerging partner of the medical professionals. So here, the outcomes-based assessment as a common knowledge, I will say that a common knowledge because you have been reading a lot. So we do have the theoretical part of the examination, right? And the theoretical part of the examination is called the multiple choice question type of test. But on March 2020, APRA has decided to adopt NCLEX, no? NCLEX, and that's why many international qualified nurses took NCLEX took NCLEX and have been taking NCLEX since that time. And of course, those nurses who pass NCLEX from the US can use NCLEX, can use that to satisfy NCLEX in Australia. No? But I am going to give you a brief background of NCLEX. No? In March 2020, NCLEX until spring of 2023, NCLEX is the old NCLEX. All right, it is like a knowledge base. It's more about your comprehension about something or your simple recall, and I think it's more about the pedagogical knowledge of nursing, the nursing concepts like a fundamental of nursing, medical, surgical nursing, pediatric nursing, something like that. Okay, you will be asked around those areas, and you need to answer ABC, which one is the best answer. Okay, and you really have to memorize a lot of things, and you really have to, I have the question bank, everything. I have the question bank. You want to memorize a lot of question banks like 5,000, 10,000. Now, spring of 2023, it has changed to new generation NCLEX. No? The new generation NCLEX is now anchored not on the behave, it's not anchored on the knowledge base, but more on your clinical judgment. No? More on the clinical judgment, and the clinical judgment must be based on evidence. It must be evidence based. So therefore, the new generation NCLEX gives you the opportunity to really decide, no, on the case of the patient. So you have the information, say for example, your nurse's notes, your history, your vital signs, and your laboratory results, no, the history of the patient. You have all this in the examination, and all you need to do is to analyze, is to read all this information, and then and look at the question. No, of course you have to look at the question so that you know what to do, you know what to point out. And even if there is like a multitude of information, a multitude of documents that you have, there is only a simple question. But the good thing about the new generation NCLEX is that you are not going to think of, for example, what is the largest organ of the body. It's not like that. It's more about, for example, what is the priority of the nurse, no? If the patient came to you, something like that, what are you going to do first? So it's more about your experience. It's more about your clinical judgment, and must be based on the evidence. And this clinical judgment must be based on the six cognitive aspects of the nursing. Say for example, of the clinical judgment, there are six cognitive aspects in clinical judgment. Say, for example, you have to recognize cues. What are the relevant information and the irrelevant information? You have to analyze cues. You have to prioritize hypotheses, something like that, no? And of course, you have to generate solutions, you have to take actions, and last is to evaluate outcomes. So these are the things that you should see in in new generation NCLEX. You don't need to memorize all the question banks. All you need to do is to know the type of questions that you will ask, that you will be asked, because there are only several types of questions. Number one is, for example, a bow tie questions. A bow tie questions, have you seen like your a tie? It's like a bow tie, right? So it's like a butterfly. So meaning to say that there are two wings there and one at the center. So meaning to say you have five questions there. One, two, three, four, five. One at the center, two at the fluff, two at the wings. So it's like a bow tie. And what are the things that you need to do? Say, for example, what are the actions to take by the nurse? What is the potential condition? And what are the parameters to monitor? Of course, the parameters to monitor maybe the vital signs or something like that. So it's very exciting that you know this. And Australian certified trainers has been training our nurses on how to manipulate this kind of questions. That's why we are getting a lot of buzzers because we crack the code, right? So and now, for example, bow tie for example, the multiple response. And I'm going to show you a sample on how we do it. That is the theoretical part of the examination. So the theoretical now is the NCLEX review. You might be wondering why Australia has chosen NCLEX review, no? Because now the new generation NCLEX is aligned, no? Is aligned with the Australian standard. Who knows that they are just still buying time and they are going to create their own multiple choice question type of test. That's why if you have your NCLEX now, or if you are about to take NCLEX, you have to take NCLEX now, because if APRA will say maybe next year we are going to adopt multiple choice question type of test, okay, but don't you worry, because RPS is here and powered by the Australian certified trainers. We can dance around it, and we can have we can solve it. But if, for example, if you are about to take, or you have taken, do it now, okay? So the NMBA chose NCLEX to be the standard assessment test of the first part of the outcomes-based assessment. Results from US NCLEX can also be considered as long as the result is in the last 10 years, no? In the last 10 years from the time you lodge your application. Right. Now, so this is the new gen NCLEX of RPS migration. It is being delivered by the Australian certified trainers. So we we have mastered the clinical judgment, no, here in new generation NCLEX, and our NGN, new generation NCLEX item types are realistic, and they have the bow tie questions, the standard alone questions, and the unfolding cases. When you say unfolding cases, it is already you have already six questions there, and each question has several points, right? So because the condition of the patient is changing, that is why unfolding, no? It's like developing, progressing. So for example, if you get admitted, then if you visit the clinic, and then you get admitted in the hospital, therefore several laboratories that, so see, it's developing, it's unfolding, and for you as a nurse should know how to treat each episode. And that's what we do here. So we have the full discussions, we have the interactive sessions every Sunday. So, and we really have the fast track one, no? And our discussion is really fast track because in 1 month you have 8 sessions, and we do have monthly intake. That's how we do it, no? So now we do have two lecturers, one the first lecturer that we have is a UP professor, a graduate of Monash University here in Australia for the Masters of IT Research. And he is concurrently teaching as well NCLEX in ACT and the OSCE, and as well in Open University in the Philippines in UP, no? UP Manila. Now, the second lecturer as well is a very competitive, is a very refined person from Colombia, a Colombian nurse. So to have the perspective of another nationality, it's not only about the Filipino POV. We must have the other POV so that the multicultural is there. So we do have the Philippine best and the Colombian best. It's like they are saying it's like Miss Universe. All right? So we have the Philippines and we have the Colombia. Sir Nelson and Sir David are are going. You will meet them, no, in our NCLEX, New Gen NCLEX. So you have the access to our learning management system. The program of our NCLEX is very good. So we do have our structure or our syllabus. So we have Saturday and Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, 6 to 9 p.m. Um, every time. So, and then after for 3 hours, no? After four sessions, another intake will begin. Say, for example, if you are not ready yet, no, and if you want to have more, that's okay because it is unlimited. But our pacing is very fast, no, because we want to produce a lot of nurses, and the lecture is very good. They are going to explain to you all the things that you should know. And remember, it's more about mastering the examination, the type of exams that you will see in actual examination. It's not about memorizing all the cases. It's how you decide how to consider and what are the things, what are the parameters that you should process in order to arrive at the answer. The answers are already there. All you need to do is select that all apply, like the SATA, right? SATA is select all that apply. Bow-tie question, trend cases, drag and drop, no? So these are the types of questions that you should know. I'm going to these are our lecturers, Sir Nelson, and we have here Sir David from Colombia, no? So, and they are very patient in so far as the discussion is concerned. Of our I'm going to show you a sample of our NCLEX, no? So that you should have so that you will have an idea about what we do. So for our NCLEX program, so you have your own LMS 24/7. You can have it, no? You can And we do have here a lot of exercises, a lot of cases wherein you can your clinical judgment will be challenged. There is a rationale right away, and this is being updated weekly. That's why you will be amazed on how you perform. Say, for example, if you want to know more about the bow tie questions, this is an example of a bow tie questions. So let's have a look on what is a bow tie, right? So a bow tie question is just like to speech. So as you can see, you have all the information that you need to process, right? You have your nurse's notes, you have your diagnostic results, and this is the bow tie. All you need to do is to move that, no? Right? So you have all the answers and all you need to do is to process. So it's like a bow tie, right? So that's how and we have a lot of that in the bow tie questions, and um, you will be familiar on the examination so that when you do your actual examination, you will not get lost and you can perform better. All right, that's what we do because academic excellence is what I want in Australian certified trainers because my pre-law is teaching. I used to be a principal of a school, an educator myself. My background in education is so immense. That's why, as you can see, we do um, the way we do it in Australian certified trainers is like the level, the standards is just amazing. So, for example, you have the unfolding cases. If you want to have the unfolding cases, it looks like this, no? So for the unfolding cases, we have the recognized cues, that's number one. And then you have the analyzed cues. All you need to do is, for example, you have to do that. See? So you can just manipulate that. And you have this select all that apply, the SATA. No, there is a lot of SATA in the actual examination. So for example, if you think there are three answers, okay, and then for example, and then you have to generate solution. What is the solution? For example, indicated, contraindicated, whatever. All right. So it's just here, and it is unlimited. This drag and drop. What kind of question is drag and drop? So you can have, oh, drag and drop. There are several questions of drag and drop, drag and drop close, drag and drop itself. So there is a lot. Okay. So so this is simple drag and drop. Okay. That's what we do. So as you can see, who is designing this? Who is designing the NCLEX? I myself am designing this. That's why I know what I am saying right now. Okay, so that no, are you a nurse? No, I'm not a nurse, but I am a course developer. I developed the OSCE course. I developed the NCLEX course. So that's why we have the basis, and it is evidence based as well. It's not about uh, putting everything there. So as you can see, and what is called the extended multiple response, what is the highlighted items, the trend settings, multi-quizzer. So these things are the advantages of having your NCLEX with ACT because it's not about having thousands of question banks. It's how you can judge the case correctly. So, say for example, if you took the NCLEX once, you failed. If you are taking it, if you took it again, then you failed. Don't you worry, because um, NCLEX, no, is just you will know how it works. I have one client who just came in for OSCE. She took it for 6 times, no. But with our training, I am telling you, no, I am telling you, if you are going to focus yourself, if you are going to use our platform, you will just get it, no. Because it's about the clinical judgment. It's not what you know, it's how you decide on the case. No? Okay, so let's continue with our discussion. And it's very exciting, no? That you are knowing what we can offer. It's the good thing about RPS. Once we say we deliver, no, it's not about we have that but we don't have it yet. No, we have it. It's working, and our standard is that excellent. Of course, it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to tango, as they say. So we are doing our part. You have to do your part. No, if for example you there are like hits and misses, of course you try again because this. I think APRA has made it easier for us for nurses to migrate to Australia, and because of the COVID, we need a lot of nurses. Time will come that it will be over, so do not wait for that to come, but do it now. Okay. Now let's see. These are the registration standards. No, the good thing about OBA, it doesn't need any recency of practice, because if you pass the examination, say for example your NCLEX and your OSCE, that is in itself a recency of practice. Your practice has been checked as eligible, as complying with the standards. But all others, you need to comply. For example, the criminal history check, the English, which is 66, all 66 except for writing, which may be 56. But of course, if you are going to sit for the exam for Pearson Test of English, you have to at least get all 66 so that you can use that in migration as well. So before, I always say to my clients, do Pearson Test of English at the last, no? At the last stage, once you finish your OSCE. But now, if you have time, just take the NCLEX, take the PTE right away, so that once you pass OSCE, you are going to apply for registration right away, because you will pass NCLEX, you will pass OSCE, you will be there if you are with RPS. Because I am not going to rest until you pass, no? Because this is the only way. Do not tell to yourself that you cannot do it, because um, no one can ever tell that to you. You have the people to help you, and this is what we do. Okay, so those are for your reading purposes. Now, once you I'm going to discuss the OSCE. I forgot the OSCE, right? So the NCLEX. Now I'm going to discuss the OSCE. But before I discuss the OSCE, I'm going to have like a 2 minute break. Just wait a while. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let me continue. So now we do have the OSCE. So if Australian certified trainers is excellent in NCLEX, Australian certified trainers is so fantastic, no? With regard to OSCE. As you can see, it's not because I own it, no? Here in Australia right now, the Australian certified trainers, no, is now the front runner of the OSCE, no, training here. So it is located here in Melbourne at level 7470 Collins Street. As a matter of fact, tomorrow we are going to start our intake for what date? July? Is it July now? Right, July, sorry. July intake, no? Because sometimes I'm disorientated. So now it is July intake. We are going to start tomorrow, and we do have 40 candidates. We do have 40 candidates, and this August it will commence at 3 weeks after the training of that, and we do have 30 candidates already. Imagine. So that's how in demand Australian certified trainers now, because um the following are the features. Number one, you have 2 week training here. It's like a boot camp. It's face to face for 2 weeks. Prior your 2 weeks, you have your um interactive interactive sessions, and of course you have your LMS with you. You have your online. You have your online OSCE, wherein you are going to finish some activities online, so that once you reach Australia, you are going to come here 2 weeks before your actual examination, you are very much ready, because 2 weeks is not enough, especially if you lack the bedside experience. That's why we are giving you the head start, no? We are giving you the head start to do it, no, online, because our online is very comprehensive. And we do have the battery test and the mock test. No, the battery test, it's like testing your endurance, no, your pacing. What are you going to do in the actual examination? And then after that, you have your mock test. How are you going to perform in the actual examination prior the introduction of battery and mock test, no, at Australian certified trainers, no. All others are like, doing their thing. But with the innovations that the Australian certified trainers um, have done so far, no, we have produced hundreds and hundreds of passers. And as a matter of fact, last September of 2024, we got 100%. And it is evidence based. Many, I'm just like very what they call this, um taken aback, no, surprised by other training centers here in Australia. Sometimes they don't know what the value, no, the value of good marketing, the value that what you should post should be evidence, no, should be evidence based, no. So if you say 100%, you must have the pictures, you must have the name. You can just say 100%. If you are following the page of Australian certified trainers, you will see there our nurses posting, no, posting pictures, posing for pictures because they enjoy it, you know. And others cannot do it. Other testing centers can just claim 100%. We are doing very good, but there is no receipt at all. So that's one thing. That's one of the badges that you should look for, so that you are not wasting your money. Okay. Now let's have a look on our OSCE. No. So this is the good thing about um, with RPS. I have it all. No, I have it all. So you don't need to look any further. Look any further. So this is, for example, the OSCE training. No, so for the OSCE training, we do have a lot of videos there for you to understand. There is the flow, and there is the a lot of things to follow. So you should do, no, you should do the um, the return demo uh, in accordance with our standards. So remember, the OSCE is composed of 10 stations, no? And that station should you should pass 7 out of 10. No? And many, no, may not all, many of our clients, no, got 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I'm very happy. We're very happy with that, no? Say for example, what is the flow of the BLS, no? So you have here the flow of the BLS, something like that.
Basic life support,
So you will
BLS,
see.
is a vital skill set that can
So
save
people
lives
is
by offering emergency treatment to individuals facing life-threatening
and
conditions
after the
until
flow,
more
we have
sophisticated
the
medical
modern,
interventions
the
are
child,
available.
and the adult.
It is
And let's
imperative for
say
all
you are
healthcare
going
workers
to
to
have
be
a demo
proficient in performing
So
BLS
if you were
correctly.
taken, if you
Within
were
Australian
taken,
healthcare
the
service settings, BLS
introduction
is an integral
material,
part of
you are
patient
very
care,
much ready.
closely linked to Standard 8 of
So
the
that's
National
what we are
Safety
going
and
to
Quality
give
Health Service, which
to have a
focuses on recognizing and responding to acute deterioration. In the context of the objective structured clinical examination, BLS is one of the essential stations that assess a healthcare professional's ability to effectively respond to emergency situations. In this interactive activity, we will demonstrate how ACT candidates execute BLS under Australian standards. During this activity, you'll have the opportunity to engage with the video content by answering questions and following specific instructions as they arise. Good luck. The following are our learning outcomes. First, accurately perform the steps of basic life support, BLS, for adults, including assessing responsiveness, calling for help, providing chest compressions, and using an automated external defibrillator, AED, effectively. Second, follow the criteria outlined in the ACT marking guides to ensure BLS techniques are executed correctly, efficiently, and within the appropriate time frame. Third, recognize.
You see, as you can see, it's very interactive. So there are questions along the way which you need to answer. So if you are really serious about your preparation, you are going to finish all this so that when we see each other in the face to face, you know what to do. It's not you are there to smash the examination. And I created that because I can see the gap. No, I can see the struggle of those nurses who are taking it for the first time, who are doing it for the first time, and there is a lot of adjustments that are needed. That's why I created that so that I can help a lot of nurses adjust first while overseas, and then once they arrive here in Australia, they are very much ready, like finishing touches and everything. So it's really now the nurse's call on how to make it happen for them, no? Because here at Australian Certified Trainers, we are doing our best to make it happen, and that is the key on why we are getting a lot of buzzers, which is the envy of other training centers now. Now, let's continue. So once you get your registration in Australia, so we are going to proceed with your residency. Getting your registration is not enough because what if you don't have the we don't have enough experience for you to get an employer, or just like now the recent plight here in Australia, it's very hard to get the sponsor because there is a directive coming from the state government that they are going to minimize to the sponsorship. So what now? No, what are you going to do? This is the reason why I created the program. The same situation in 2017. As you can see, I have been practicing for over a decade. I have seen the high and lows of nurses here in Australia, but it's always there. There is always highs and lows. And now the program that answers that is the fast track registration to residency, because once you get your registration, if you become a resident just like us, one of us, you will be prioritized insofar as job is concerned. But of course you really have to answer good in the interview. Okay, you should be a safe practitioner. So say for example, if I see you as a minor, I will not run. Okay. So so you must be a safe practitioner. And residency, if you become a resident, if you don't want to become a nurse, that's fine. If you want to become a singer, that's fine because you are a resident. If you want to have a business here, that's fine. All right? So that is the difference of having your residency. It must always be coupled with uh, that's how I say it must always be coupled with the residency program. And it is a combination of the registration and the skilled migration. No other agency can do it. No other migration agent can do it because they don't have it. They don't have a training center like RPS. They don't have a migration firm like RPS. They are not lawyers like RPS. They are not migration agent like RPS, educator like RPS. So that's why we walk the talk. It's very uh, I am not boasting this no every time, but sometimes people are just like not getting that we do have what it takes, no? All right. So the goals of the program, the registration and the residency. So it's a combination of upper registration and the general skilled migration program of the Department of Home Affairs. No? So, and the timeline, no? I am going to manage your application, for example, in 2 years, because first year is your registration, the following year is your residency. Other agency will not handle that take will not handle your application that long. They will charge you they will charge you ano they will charge you a very a huge huge fees no for that. But with RPS migration, because I have like multitude of applicants, multitude of clients, that's where the advantage is. No, now, so if you are a registered nurse here in Australia, it opens an opportunity for you for the skilled in demand visa, which is called subclass 482. So sponsorship, no? So for example, if a clinic or a hospital sponsors you, so that's called subclass 482. Now, if you have at least 1 year of experience and more, if you have 3 years experience and more, sometimes you will be given subclass 186. It's direct PR, no? Direct permanent resident. So 482 is temporary. Now with regard to 189, 190, 491, and 489, these are the residency visa points tested. That's why whenever you ask our case officers, they are going to do the point system. That is standard. Because for over a decade, no, I have been holding a 100% batting average for the skilled migration for nurses. That's very incredible. That's incredibly uh, excellent because number one, I am very meticulous with regard to your medical condition. If any members of the family has a medical condition that attracts significant cost to the Australian government, I will advise you. I will advise you that your visa should be this, not this. Okay? So that's why I have that a very good performance with regard to general skilled migration of nurses. Okay? Right. So you know the reason now why we do have the residency. No? Registration is not enough. Residency must be your end game. Right. So for the eligibility for the subclass 482, you have your 1 year of experience, registered nurse, sponsorship, and nomination. For the 186, skills assessment is needed here, aside from the 3 year of experience. And of course, you must have the employer. Mind you that I am not giving jobs. Okay. So for over a decade that I have been practicing as a registered migration agent, I've never had any drama that the client will come to me and say, I engaged because you said that you're going to give me a job. I have never had any drama at all like that because from the outset, I am giving the correct advice that our program is registration to residency. If there are interviews along the way, it's a bonus. But you engage me because you want to become an immigrant in Australia, and no other agency can do that for you. No? All right. So points tested visa on how you can increase the points. I have the means. I can teach you Pearson test of English. I can teach you the CCL. These are the points. These are the extra points. Say for example, for Pearson test of English, if you score all 79 and above, you have like 20 points. And this PTE has revolutionized migration in Australia. I remember back in 2015 or 16 or 17 when this was first introduced. From that moment on, it revolutionized Australian migration, especially for nurses, because no one or a very little number of nurses is taking IELTS. Because if you get IELTS all 7 and if you get PT all 65, it's very easy to get all 65 for a person test of English. And the good thing about it is that we give the training. You don't need to look any further. All you need to do is to concentrate, focus, and we are going to guide you until the end. Now, no medical condition, must be less than 45 years old. Okay. Now let's look at the cost and charges. No? Sometimes this holds you back because it is misunderstood. Now, the cost and charges are the government fees payable directly to the Australian government or third-party organization on schedule. You don't need to pay them all at once, and you are going to pay directly to the government, third-party organization. These fees should not go to RPS because it's not allowed. Okay? So, for example, your APRA pre-registration, this is in Australian dollars, 410 Australian dollars. Next is the authority to test, 345. So, the authority to test and the NCLEX exam, no, you're going to pay that when you take the exam or before taking the exam. The OSCE is payable to APRA when you are about to take the OSCE, no? So that will be for next year, no? If you are a beginner, if you are the first time and you are going to look at this and you saw this, you should understand that you are going to pay that once you sit for the exam. The OSCE training is 2,500, the business visa 192, and APRA post registration 330 and Pearson. So these are the government fees, no, payable to the Australian government and third party organization, and not you are not going to pay that um, at once. No, it's on schedule. So missing here is your visa for the residency, which will be determined at the time of lodgement. So, and that will be paid to the government. So, and that's about after after 9 months from your registration, hopefully minimum, something like that. Okay. Now, so how about RPS migration? No. So RPS migration, we do have our fees, no, and our case officers will be sending you our fees as well. And the good thing about RPS migration fees, it is progressive. No, you are not paying us if there is nothing happening in your application. You are paying us because there is something happening in your application, and that's why we are very popular among our nurses. My my mouse is dead. My mouse is dead. Wait. All right. A job for RadTech. Mm, I'm just wondering where is the payment plan for our nurses. Anyway, so going back to here, what are the benefits, no? What are the benefits of becoming immigrant in Australia? Of course, number one, you can remain indefinitely here in Australia. You know, if you want to practice your own profession, that's fine. If you don't want to practice your profession anymore, that's also fine because you are one of us already. You don't need to um, stress yourself. If you don't want to become a nurse anymore. Okay? So another one is that you can be enrolled in the Medicare. What is the significance of having your enrollment in the Medicare? It's because whenever you get sick, no, whenever you get sick, you can go to the GP and ask for the checkup, and and the government as well. There is a participation in so far as the um, medication is concerned. Now, I saw my... Okay. Next is you can also apply for bank loans to buy property. And of course, you can also um, apply for citizenship after 4 years. Do you know that here in Australia, you don't need to have you don't need to have um, what do you call this? You can become a a citizen here in Australia after 4 years, even if you go in and out. So once you get your once you get your citizenship, you will have your blue passport. Okay, so that's the good thing about this this program. So just like one of our successful nurses, Jericho, no, passer of ACT as well, from NCLEX to OSCE and to residency. Okay. What is the timeline of the process? No? The process would be from the moment you engage us to passing your NCLEX, give yourself 4 to 5 months. No, 4 to 5 months, it's done. For example, you engage now, no? You engage now, then maybe before the end of the year, you are NCLEX passer. You will be surprised. Once you pass NCLEX, I'm telling you, passing OSCE is easier because we have the means on how to do it here, no? In on face to face, no? For the NCLEX, we have mastered on how to crack the code and what to do. So all you need to do is to really give your 100%. No? Do I need to pay the whole amount right away? The answer is no. What if I don't have experience? Can I proceed? The answer is yes, because recency of practice is way once you pass those examinations. I am turning 45. What are my options? That's sad. No. However, there is still hope. So if you are 45 years old, just like myself, I'm more than 45. So if you are 45 years old, your option would be working visa only. So, but if you become a registered nurse here in Australia, and if you are 45, we can apply for the Trans-Tasman in New Zealand because in New Zealand, it's 55. No? Sometimes our kababayans often forget themselves. They want to help a lot of people except themselves. No? Before helping others, help yourself first. Now, if you become a registered nurse in Australia, then help everyone else. Help all people if you want. So, what are the medical conditions that may affect our application? Autism is one, no, and heart condition and the kidney condition. Can I only avail registration? That's fine. Yes. How do we prepare for NCLEX and OSCE? I have already explained that. I already have NCLEX US. Can I use it? Yes. I am already a registered nurse in the US. Can I apply directly for registration to APRA? Depends. But that's not the concern of our discussion tonight. Do you have accommodation in Australia? I don't have accommodation, but we can arrange that because our clients, we do have a lot of clients you can share so that it will be cheaper. How is the review in ACT? Is the passing is high? Of course, we are number one here in Australia. What if I cannot find a job? Can you help me? No, that's why we are processing our residency. If I will start the process, how can I proceed? You have to contact your case officer. Maybe your case officers have discussed the fees already, the down payment, how much is down payment, the second payment, the third payment, and the fourth payment. Okay, so and then if you engage RPS migration within 5 days, our training for PTE and CCL will be waived. Okay, so you're not going to pay for that. It's free if you engage within 5 days. All right, I really enjoyed again our discussion for tonight. Let me see if I have some questions so that um, I can address your questions. There are many things. There are so many people now who get their visa refusal insofar as the OSCE application is concerned, because immigration is very notorious now. Even though you're coming here on a visitor visa, and if you are a nurse, there is a lot of refusal. No, there are people coming to me who got their visa refused. No, um, I have one. I have one from Qatar who got refused, but I reapplied and then he got it. No, not from Qatar, from UAE. No, but I turned that around. So that's why do not let do not let other people, especially non-migration agent, process your visa. No, sometimes they get they get it approved, good. Sometimes they don't. No, but it's good to have someone like RPS who has it all. No, and as you can see, our fees are not that big, and it's very affordable, and we are very professional in all levels. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, and hopefully I can see you all here in Australia. So let me see if I have some questions here. What if already treated of cancer, sir? Had treatment that doctors already stopped was cancer free? So that will be known, no? That will be known on the medical whether uh, your your condition is already okay. No, I hope that it's already okay. So and you're free, that's fine. So and the last resort, of course, is the medical from the immigration for PR medical. Okay? Hello po. I'm planning to po sana the 407 visa while doing OSCE since I heard pwede na po mag-work paid ka na. So if you have, no? If you have a sponsor for 407 visa, um, if you have a sponsor for 407 visa and they have the experience to do it, why not? Okay. So, but you have to be very careful, no, with regard to that because um, training visa is not for work. Training visa, by the word itself, is for training to gain experience. Okay. What else? I recently passed USRN exam. Do you process core transfer? Yes, we do. No, we can help you on that. So, you may contact no our case officer. No, Miss Mary. The number is there. No, I am nearsighted. That's okay. I am farsighted. That's okay. All right. Nearsightedness that can be cured. Um, it's not a medical condition. Okay. So PT is required, not IELTS. IELTS is fine, no, but what I am suggesting is Pearson test of English because it is easier. If you can score all seven, if you can score all seven in IELTS, you might score all 79 in Pearson test of English. Now, in my practice, I only have one who got all eight. I have only one who got all A in OET, but I have hundreds and hundreds who got 90 in PTE. No? So, by this evidence, I can say that PTE is easier. Okay, welcome. Okay. Do you assist po ba? If you have an employer, if you have the nomination for 407, I can process the visa. But you must have the nomination, you must have a sponsor. I cannot give you the sponsorship, I cannot give you the nomination. I can only process the visa for 407. Okay? That's why it's very difficult for the 407. Okay. Very informative. Okay, thank you po. All right. Okay, so what if there is medical report that you're already free? So the final arbiter, if in legal parlance, no, the final arbiter is not that medical report, but the medical report of the immigration, no? Because you will undergo the uh, you will undergo the what they call this the medical here, no? But don't you worry, do not stress. Okay, so first thing first, registration first. When you get registered, apply for 482, stay there for a while, and then once you apply for residency, let's see, na. Okay, don't stress. Please provide us the actual payment for the, yes. If you can send us your email and full name, no, we can send you, Miss Mary can send you, no? If ever po, mag 407, can I still enroll for the review? Of course you can. So, do you have successful cases for dialysis, nurses like me who made it through RPS? Are you under dialysis? I've never had any person who, who is undergoing dialysis, na? Because I can say that if the person is undergoing dialysis, that is a medical condition. Okay, so that's the my job is the dialysis nurse. Okay, I have a, yes, we do have a lot of dialysis nurses. One of my inaanak, no, who used to be my client, is a dialysis nurse in Alice Spring. There is a lot of dialysis nurse here. Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, you see, every time I do the free consultation here. uh, all kinds of nurses, no, all kinds of nurses from registered nurse, perioperative, registered medical surgical, registered nurse surgical, registered nurse medical, registered nurse clinic, registered not elsewhere classified, all a lot of nurses, okay, dialysis nurses and everything. So it's all there. Aesthetic nurse that is not also classified as long as you pass your OSCE, no? Si Miss Argeline, that's why you are very beautiful because you are aesthetic nurse. Nurse midwife, nurse educator, that's right. Okay. Okay, so if you want to engage also RPS migration, you may also WhatsApp me at +61 415 831 158. Just mention your name. You don't have the case officer yet. But if you have a case officer yet already, then message your case officer. If you pretend not to have a case officer, I will know it because we have a centralized system. So it's my WhatsApp +61 415 831 158, and I'm very willing to help you so that you are in good hands, guys. All right. So thank you so much, guys. I am very happy to meet you all, and hopefully I can see you all here in Australia. Okay. Bye for now.